On this week's Two Limes and a Lemon podcast, we continued linking movies with related actors, themes, etc. in our 6 Degrees of Separation series. Gary Oldman played Dr. Smith in last week's Lost in Space, and also played white boy with dreads, dastardly drug dealer Drexel Spivey in this 1993 ultraviolet classic. So join us as we set out on a chaotic road trip, leaving a trail of bodies in our wake. But will these crazy kids make it out alive without much sense and only their love to protect them? Let's find out as we discuss True Romance. Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some, like, a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two limes and a lemon.
Hi, welcome to this week's Two Limes and a Lemon podcast. I'm Danielle. I'll be your host this week, and joined with me always are my friends Natalie and David. Please say hello, guys.
Hi, guys.
David.
Yeah, David, she's...
What are you full naming me for? Two-syllabling me. Hello.
Hey, I got 3 syllables. I'm usually just a 1-syllable gal.
So we'll start out this week, like we always do, with our little icebreaker of what everybody's been consuming. That can be a movie, book, TV show, or even literally food you've been consuming. So let's start out with Dave. Dave, what
Who's this Dave you're speaking of?
It is I, David.
I'm just going to say it's bloody hot. I've been consumed by the bloody... I'm going to do that. This podcast... Melting. It's hot. It's here, and everyone's loving it apart from me. No.
That's not true. I also hate it, yeah.
I just can feel
I don't
the
understand people that love the heat.
Yeah, people are like, I can't wait till it's summer.
Bring me on autumn day any day.
Autumn and winter are my favourite months, because you can just be a bit chilly, and it's fine. Me and Danielle, when we went our trip around America in LA, and like, do you want to tell it? Because it's funny.
Yeah, we stayed in this Airbnb, and it was
so fucking
like
dodgy.
The hottest day.
Do you want to build up what it looked like? Yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
It's like, you tell the story, Danielle. No, I'm telling.
No, sorry, no, yeah. I just want to say that bit. Yeah.
There were, I think, 2 full bedrooms, and Dave and I shared one of the like private rooms. There was like a bed and a sofa, and so
yeah.
And then the living room, they had put up like a partition and divided the living room into three separate rooms that had these doors that didn't lock. Like, it was like
they're like wardrobes,
plastic boarding or something. Yeah, it was ridiculous. You could just knock it down. And like, it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Somebody in the house kept turning the air conditioning off. And then Dave kept grumbling, getting off of the sofa, going out into the hallway and turning it back on. And it was all night, just this fight of turning the air conditioning on and off.
Didn't you like wake up to hear me going like, fucking so hot. It's fucking hot.
Yeah, I woke up every time.
Just remember just like turning on the aircon and being like, okay, I can sleep now. And then...
Because it was for the whole house.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't control the air conditioning just in the room we were staying in.
And then I'd have to get back up and like, it was like that scene from whatever that Brothers thing.
Oh, I know the one you mean with like Mel Gibson and that. Yeah, and Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
It's far too hot. But yeah, that's my 5 minutes of consuming. They're my notes for the day.
Well, apart from the heat also, I watched the movie The Long Walk that was on Amazon Prime. I know it's not come to your one for free yet in America, but the UK Amazon Prime, it's free. It is a Stephen King novel which was written under a pseudonym back in the 70s, and they've just made it into a movie, and I loved it. Like, I know it's not going to be a film that's for everyone. Obviously, it's a very, like, a simple premise, I suppose. It's like a group of 50 boys that each year put their name into, like, a lottery to go on the long walk. And then there can only be one person that finishes, and all the other 49 have to die. So it's just like a story of, like, perseverance and But it's also about like the friendships that they make between themselves, even though they know that the friendship is only going to last as long as they can last the walk, basically. But it was a very good film. It was sad, and I looked up after I'd watched the movie how the book ends, and the book is different to the movie. So if you've read the book and you know the ending, it's different in the movie, which I suppose is good in a way, unless you really liked the ending from the book. But I was really happy with how the ending of the movie went, because that's the character that I wanted to survive.
I enjoyed it too.
Well, it's got to be
like
Philip Seymour Hoffman's son has to go quite long, right? Because he's the star.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil it, because it definitely is worthwhile. But I will say, I did shed a tear. Okay. It was quite a sad ending.
Is he a good actor?
Yes, he was very good in it. Yeah, he was very good.
Rooting for him.
I didn't even know it was who he was until you said, "Oh, it's his son," and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. His name's Hoffman."
That David Johnson.
No, his surname's Hoffman.
No, the other guy. There's another guy in it. He was in the Alien film. Oh.
I don't know. I know Mark Hamill is the major.
Oh. I didn't know.
And I know that Philip. Oh yeah, he's like the antagonist.
Sounds like Jack Black in the trailer. Sounds like.
I know that some cinemas, when they screened it, they had people on treadmills like walking the whole time while they watched it. Yeah, and I was like, that's such a good concept. And like in hindsight, I was like, maybe I should have done that. I just stood in my living room walking as I was watching it. But I really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that I would watch again and I would recommend. What have you been up to this week?
I watched a movie last night called Strange Harvest. Okay. I think all of us are kind of fans of found footage movies, just for the simplicity and what you can kind of do with that. I had seen the thumbnail for this scrolling Amazon for quite some time, and I noticed that it was on my Hulu Disney Plus last night when I was scrolling around for a movie to watch, so I decided to try it. It's from 2025. It's like a fake crime documentary, and what I'll say gets right, it is very much like a crime documentary that you would put on like Netflix or Hulu, but whether that makes a good movie or not is I can't quite decide. Like it reminded me of, I'm going to sit and watch this like Hulu documentary, but it's not really an elevated movie. Like it felt very accurate to that, but it didn't feel like a movie. You know what I mean? Like on its own. Like
it was too close to the documentary aspect.
Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be like one level up from that. Like there's a film called Lake Mungo that does something similar.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it in a while, but I found that like super creepy whenever I watched it. And this one just it felt like I was watching a crime documentary, and it had like they showed more than they would probably show. I guess maybe that's like where it's a movie, them showing like full on crime scenes and stuff. But that was really creepy. The design of the mask of the killer was really creepy. And then there's this like supernatural aspect. If you like those kind of documentaries and you like found footage, I think it's worth checking out, especially because it's on...
They're always good.
Yeah, it's on a streaming service that most of us have nowadays.
I feel like you've got to have a very, very bad found footage film for it to be bad, because I feel like they're like the easiest sort of horrors to do.
So this week we're still in the 6 Degrees of Separation, and we're linking Lost in Space to True Romance through the actor Gary Oldman. True Romance is a 1993 film. It was the first screenplay written by Quentin Tarantino. While seeing a movie alone on his birthday, Clarence Worley, played by Christian Slater, has a meet-cute with a bubbly blonde, Alabama, played by Patricia Arquette. The two have a whirlwind night together, declare their love, and immediately wed. The catch? Alabama's a call girl in the employ of a killer pimp played by Gary Oldman. Clarence goes to get Alabama's things and decides to kill Drexel in the process. But oops, he grabs a bag of uncut cocaine instead, and this sets in place this series of adventures with Clarence and Alabama in this, like, very colorful cast of side characters as they try and start their life together by orchestrating a drug deal with a major movie producer, all the while being tracked by this gangsters crew and a couple of foul-mouthed cops. So as we always start out, I wanted to find out Have either of you seen this film before? Did you know of it? What was your experience with True Romance before the podcast?
I had never heard of True Romance. I've definitely not seen it before. From watching it, or from like sort of looking at the blurb of it, I was like, it kind of sounds like No Country for Old Men, because it's like a guy that accidentally kind of stumbles across like drugs and then people are after him. So we could also have done a 6 Degrees of Separation back to that old podcast.
Compared to Country for Old Men, this film exceeds it by a million. I really enjoyed this film. However, me and Nat
had you heard of it before?
Never heard of it, no. So I spoke about it at work and I was like, I've got to watch this True Romance film. And then one of my colleagues was like, oh my God, I love that film. That's so good. And I was like, oh, okay. I remember watching a bit of it with Nat here. And then we stopped it because it weren't playing properly.
But we weren't that into it. And I think it's a movie that you really have to concentrate on. Like, when we watch movies together, a lot of times we can get away with it because the plot's so simple. But the plot in this isn't simple. And I think because we were, like, chatting away as we were watching it, I didn't really get it, if you know what I mean. I was like, oh, it's a bit boring. But then I decided to start watching it on my own, because obviously the one that we were watching stopped working. And then I really enjoyed it, like you just said, Dave. Like, I was like, it's like a completely different movie watching it on my own and really getting into
some
it.
Of these films, I feel like watching it on my own, it's a different. I probably got a better experience out of it, so I'm glad I did, because I maybe would have come out of this going like, ugh. But then I watched this one, pleasantly surprised.
Oh, good. For me, I'd seen it when it came out. It came out in '93, so I was just starting college at the time. And I remember liking it well enough. It was definitely, this, if you can imagine a world before Pulp Fiction and, other Quentin Tarantino films, this was really a type of action film that hadn't been seen before. But because of that, my memory of this film is mainly from college guys who saw this film and minds were blown, lives were changed, and just like one of those things where they're like talking at you and telling you why it's the best film ever. I hadn't seen it since. I think because of the experience I had with like nerdy men in this film, I was kind of like put off from it. I wanted to start off with the Quentin Tarantino of it all. And so, did you guys know that this was Quentin Tarantino's first script that he sold?
I didn't know.
Yeah, he sold it for like really, like, it's like 50 grand or something, which I read at the time was like the minimum amount that would be paid for a script by the Writers Guild. But I was like, considering that we said that J.J. Abrams sold the script for whatever that. No, was
Forever
it Enduring
Young.
Love?
Forever Young.
Forever Young, thank you. For $1 million, like the difference.
Yeah, and the original script was actually also contained what would become the script for Natural Born Killers. But this was written when Quentin Tarantino was still working in a video store. Quentin Tarantino considers this like his most autobiographical role, which tracks for me, because when we first meet Clarence, he's just like talking movie facts at Alabama, like Sonny Chiba and Hong Kong movies and blah blah blah, comic books, blah 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 blah. It makes him like a traditional romantic lead by any means, but knowing that it's connected to Natural Born Killers, I can definitely see the through lines between the two, like a road trip where there's a lot of violence along the way, and the two in love leads are a little bit not so together in the head. But also, like, I can see the link of this of the beginning of Quentin Tarantino's career in general. There's a lot of the same tropes that we see in a lot of the Quentin Tarantino films, like the super violent action scenes and
bloody carnage. This movie has like the F-bomb and its like counterparts. Like it was said something like 234 times they say like F and its derivatives. So it's like this movie's got a lot of like expletives, we'll say.
I think that wasn't, again, the norm for cinema at the time either, and so it was
93, yeah.
But Quentin Tarantino used the sale of this film to fund Reservoir Dogs.
I've not actually seen Reservoir Dogs. It's like one of those classics, which I know I should watch, but I just have never brought myself to actually watch it.
To you guys, does this feel like a Quentin Tarantino film, or does it feel like a Tony Scott film? Who is the director of it?
I don't know what a Tony Scott film is.
I have a list of Tony Scott films to prep you. Tony Scott...
Is he something to do with Ridley Scott?
Yeah, he's Ridley Scott's brother, and he...
That's what I thought.
He was also a very big director. He directed Top Gun, Man on Fire, Days of Thunder, Enemy of State, Crimson Tide, among others.
Ah, yes, definitely. All those films I've
none
never seen a single film.
I've never watched any of those films.
My goodness.
So I'll say it's a
You've seen Top Gun, haven't you?
No.
No.
Cutting this out.
We're the best at this movie business.
Let's do a film podcast where the majority of the people in the podcast have not seen these old classics.
We're like, we've not seen any of these classics, but we have seen Around the World in 80 Days.
So he basically did big Hollywood thrillers.
A lot of cult classics.
A lot of action thrillers.
They're just not my sort of film, but they're all what I would call like a middle-aged man action movie, and that's not really my my go-to.
What, these ones you mean?
The ones you named, Crimson Tide. Like, my dad loves Crimson Tide, but it's not going to be my favourite film.
Is it about a red river?
It's a submarine film.
It's a Russian Cold War submarine film. So to rein this back in a little bit.
Oh God, yeah.
The action in this is really akin to the like I said, it wasn't something that was seen in American cinema action films at the time. I think the late 80s, early 90s action films were a lot of Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, and Predator, like those kind of things. And this was influenced very much by the Hong Kong crime thriller movies, particularly by John Woo, who did like The Killer. We get a little bit of that with Clarence at the beginning. He's seeing at Sunny Chiba movie festival or whatever for his birthday, and then he proceeds to talk at Alabama about how great Sunny Chiba is. And then Sunny Chiba went on to be the Hattori Hanzo, the samurai sword maker.
Oh, and Kill Bill.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Clarence's character, he starts off as this nerdy comic book guy, meets Alabama because Alabama has been hired to spend his birthday, the birthday with Clarence, and hired by the boss of the comic book store.
His boss.
So
yeah,
it kind of sets up that Clarence is this little bit of geeky weirdo. And so
like a loner.
And something about this romance with Alabama clicks something in him that he then becomes this crazed
renegade,
he's gonna just go out and kill the drug dealer. Yeah, did people believe that switch?
I kind of felt like he was I didn't see the nerdy guy, really. I just saw him as a film fanatic, and he knew a lot about movies. But I didn't feel like he came across like he was a bit of a geek. I think he was this sort of passionate, crazy guy anyway. So I didn't see the switch, if there was a switch. I just saw him because there wasn't enough of a journey for him to do a switch.
Yeah.
If he did, then it was very much a Daenerys Targaryen switch, where it was he's crazy now.
Straight
so
into madness.
There was a switch. I felt like he was always like that.
I thought that they kind of told it was a tell us, don't show us thing in giving the little point that his boss felt he had to buy a call girl for his birthday. It made it sound like he could. And the fact that we see him at a bar trying to pick up a girl to go on the birthday watch with him.
Oh, see a movie, yeah.
And his version of chatting up somebody at a bar is saying if he would have sex with Elvis.
Yeah, which is just so odd. I when I first watched the movie on the one with Dave, I don't even think it had that opening scene. It just came straight in at the title. So then when I watched it on my own, I was like, what is this scene? It's so off-putting.
And it makes him off-putting too.
But it's Clarence is his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I feel all of Clarence's problems are his own doing. the thing with Drexel, or Gary Oldman's character, like, she'd apparently only been a call girl for like 3 or 4 days. Like, I feel like he wouldn't have even cared if she hadn't turned back up.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I'm like, I don't think she was a big enough thing on his radar that he'd been like, where's Alabama? Like, she's a new girl. He's not going to remember her. They literally could have gone off into the sunset at that point and it would have been no problem.
Drexel had a lot going on. He had some sort of, he had the drug deal with Blue Lou Boyle's crew, and then he had something going on with Sam Jackson, and then that ends up in Drexel shooting Sam Jackson for no reason.
He literally turns up and then dies.
Yeah, he's got a wall of aquariums, again, for no reason. He's got a lot on his plate. I don't think he would have missed her.
Yeah, I agree. And he's like, we'll have to go and get your stuff. And she's like, I've got no stuff. And he's like, no, we've got to go back. And I'm just like, there would be no movie if you'd just been like, okay, let's start afresh. We're going to go to LA. Like, everybody he goes to, he gets his dad killed. He goes to LA, he gets his friend roped up who would have had, like, an audition that turned into, like, a good part and stuff. Like, everybody's getting caught up in this story because Clarence is an idiot.
Yeah, but think of the story to tell the kids later on.
The kid. Little Elvis. In the
at the end, on the beach. Yeah. Who was Patricia Arquette's real son?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was her 4-year-old son, apparently, on IMDb.
Soon after, they have this romance where they immediately get married and have matching
tattoos. Yeah.
Wait. Before we go to meet Drexel, Clarence goes into the bathroom and has like a little 1-to-1 with imaginary copyright-free Elvis, played by Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah, what's he called? He's called the Mentor or something. Is his actual like credited name?
So it leads me to believe that Clarence isn't working with a full deck anyhow. I mean, maybe he isn't seeing Elvis. He's just, this is like him, the visualization of him getting a pep talking himself, kind of like the scene in Pulp Fiction where John Travolta goes into the bathroom and is like talking into himself at the mirror. Maybe that's the equivalent here. Okay. But he jumps right into, he's not even going to just go and get Alabama's clothes. He immediately jumps into, I got to kill this guy.
He's going to kill a guy and then leave his driver's license at the crime scene. So everybody and their son can find him afterwards.
Well, everybody is really good about leaving their trail pretty obviously behind in this film. You've got him leaving his ID in Drexel's hand. Then you have his father leaving the address for the gangsters to find on his fridge.
In LA. Yeah.
And then the worst of all, you have Dick Ritchie, who is Clarence's friend. You have his roommate, a high Brad Pitt on the couch.
Brad Pitt.
Just like, gangster comes in, doesn't even have to like push it all. He's like, oh no, they're at this hotel.
No. The worst is that she's left the drug case just under the bed.
Oh yeah. She didn't hide it in a vent like Josh Brolin. She just left it under the bed.
We meet the next kind of interesting character, who is, I forget his name, but it's Dennis Hopper playing Clarence's father. And Dennis Hopper brings, like, the same gravitas and, like, intensity that he has in any role, as this small role of just, like, an ex-cop with his Rottweiler living in a trailer, who's lost touch
right next
with
to a
his son.
Train track.
Yes!
Like, how's he ever getting asleep?
But they give us, like, a little detail that they've not been in touch, but, like, when push comes to shove, he really, like, defends his son in the way that he can.
And I feel like it wasn't so much that Dennis Hopper didn't want to, his character didn't want to do the relationship. It was more Clarence's choice to not have continued the relationship because it's like his dad must have been, like, a drunk in the past or something. But I really liked his character, his dad. I felt like how he apart from the weird kiss he had with Alabama before they left, apart from that bit, I was like, he seems like a really nice guy. He was like welcoming and he was nice to them, and just, I was very sad for the scene of his demise.
Yeah, agreed. And that leads us to this Sicilian scene where we also get Christopher Walken in like a 5-minute role. And this
There's so many cameos.
Yeah, so many cameos. This very intense interrogation of the gangsters who are now looking for the drugs that Clarence has. And at some point, Clarence's father realizes he's not getting out of this alive. He knows of Blue Lou Boyle. I just want to keep saying Blue Lou Boyle because it's such a tongue twister. It's such a great name that we never get to see the character at all. But he pretty much knows that he's not coming out of this alive. And so he doubles down and gives this like kind of offensive monologue about Sicilians and
the heritage,
the heritage of Sicilians. And it's clearly done to needle at Christopher Walken and this crew. And it's
such a tense scene. It's like two titans of acting really kind of battling out. I was like, even though the scene is filled with like so many other actors in the background, like you don't even notice them. It's just these two are so like prominent in the frame, like you're not even looking anywhere else, you're just looking at like the tension between the two.
I got a little distracted because James Gandolfini I just kept seeing Tony Soprano. So I kept looking to see, like, oh, Tony Soprano, what's he gonna do?
Well, you said Tony Soprano, but I was like, it's the guy from Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, you know what? That's one I've never seen.
It's a good film.
I've never seen that either.
I like that film. It's good.
Yeah, we have these two, as you said, titans of acting, that one gets, like, shot and we never see him again. And then the other one, I guess, is too big of a gangster to go on the...
Yeah, I thought he was going to turn up in the end scene. I was like, at some point he's going to turn up in that hotel room, but he just never showed up. I was like, oh, I feel a bit like swindled out of another Christopher Walken scene.
But no, because we've got a whole new cast of crazy characters to meet when we hit LA. So Clarence is meeting up with his friend in LA, Dick Ritchie, who's played by Michael Rappaport, who's been like in pulp culture recently, at least in the US, because he was on the latest season of The Traitors, and everybody hated him because he was so outspoken and kind of a jerk. And there was this meme of him eating his dinner with his dinner plate right up to his mouth and just shoveling the food in.
He's also in Deep Blue Sea.
Ah, yeah, he is in Deep Blue Sea.
That's the guy from Deep Blue Sea.
Dick Ritchie's roommate is a young Brad Pitt in one of his first roles. Is this like one of his first?
Yeah, I was going to say it must be.
I think so. I think it was like a character choice of his to always be high. Like it wasn't in the script. We also meet Elliot, who is played by Bronson Pinchot, who was, I think he was in Beverly Hills Cop. That was sort of what he was known for. And then after this, he was well known for this series that was very popular when I was a kid, and I don't think anybody remembers it anymore, called Perfect Strangers.
I would like to say that Elliot was my favourite character up until the last scene when he was like, can I go now? And then let everybody know that he was the one that ratted them out. And I was like, you are being demoted from my favourite character because that was so dumb.
He was not very good at whatever. Like, he's another actor, but he's sort of helping to orchestrate this big deal.
Well, he's more like just like a PA to the director more than an actor.
And then there's this like kind of overly violent... Like, you don't often see a woman being beat up so violently in a movie.
Yeah, I thought that was really intense, that scene. I was like, I was like, oh, this film's quite really hard hitting and gripping now. Like, it's turned from like these people trying to get these drugs sold, and then I was like, I thought it was going to go in a certain direction where it was going to be like just a build up till the end. I didn't think that we were going to have a whole scene where one of the gangsters obviously finds them, and literally she doesn't get out of it quite at all. She just like she's just like, oh, can you turn around for me? And he's like, okay. Does a little turning. Oh, I go the other way, and then the hit. I was like, okay. I just was like, my nose hurts, my lip hurts.
Yeah.
And it just gets wet. And then like when she gets thrown into the shower and there's glass everywhere, I was just like, this is going to get really worse. Yeah, it was really intense, sort of like action, not action. It was just like intense, like fight essentially.
And she
Well, I
stabs
wrote
him in the foot.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
holding it up, the corkscrew, and I was like, oh, I don't know how, is she going to get him in the eye? I was like, I hope he can go down, and she gets him in the foot, and I was like, oh, that's not going to beat him, he's going to, like, beat the crap out of you now, and he's like, right, now the nice guy's gone. I was like, where was the good guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good scene.
I wrote down, did he forget he had a gun? Because, like, much like how we discussed that all of this could have been avoided with a little bit better decision making at the outset, like, he could have just shot her and found the drugs
I thought it was just
immediately.
because people would have heard him a lot quicker. Like, if he just shot her and then looked for the drugs.
Oh,
He
maybe.
needed information.
Like, it would have... Because I did write down, I was like, there's a lot of shots from this gun. Like, how has nobody come in quicker than when Clarence comes in? Like, somebody else surely should have got there earlier.
Well, also the amount of, like, people being thrown around the room, the noise of that
Smashing.
as well. Yeah.
I don't think they would
This
want to get
film is
involved,
like-
would they? Like, if you're hearing all that smashing,
suppose.
yeah, people are like, I'm not getting involved.
Yeah,
with
they're
that.
probably not in a very good hotel. They're in a
Yeah,
motel.
Yeah. So.
With
This
the
film was
safari theme.
Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it? I did say that I think that Clarence would have left Alabama. Like, I don't know, I just didn't get the romance of it. I feel like once he had the drugs, he was so concerned with where he could sell it and how much money he could get. I felt like their relationship was very
Really,
one-sided.
I saw it as like he just wanted to get the money so he could just have a good life with this lady, with Alabama. I just saw it as like,
He could have had a good life.
yeah, but he was so
anyway.
fixated on making it like a rich life full of money and stuff like that. Yeah, he didn't think about his actions, but I felt like he was really in love with her though.
I thought they told us he was in love with her. I would have liked to have seen after that initial romance. And
Yeah, it was all very lustful rather than actual romance. Like, I felt like after she got the, like, crap beat out of her, and then it was kind of like, well, kind of get yourself together because we now need to go over to this director and do the, like, the pitch sort of thing. I felt like there was no moment of him being like, actually, I've put you in danger here. Like, maybe we should rethink what we're doing. It's more just like, right, get yourself together, get yourself cleaned up, put a hat and sunglasses on.
We gotta go.
Wipe your face. We're off. Yeah.
Did she need to go to the drug deal?
Yeah, because she might
No,
wander
she
off
didn't.
somewhere and get murdered by somebody else. There's got to be a getaway. Just want to talk about the music. I had to the first time listening to the music, I was like, "What is this soundtrack?" It's called "You're So Cool." It's that marimba kind of happily pleasant xylophone. Yeah. And I've kind of heard, and Hans Zimmer's like, you know what? Let's do this. But looking at it, it's because it's like I had to really think. I was like, why is he using this? Because it's a completely different style of what I'm watching in front. And it always appears when there's a bit of like love or romance involved or heart to heart. So he's talking to his dad, you hear it slowly coming in. But it's just sort of to show a contrast of this sort of fantasy love with what's actually going on with all this sort of like a lot of danger and death and murder. And you've got this sort of like happy xylophone playing in the background. Yeah, it's really good. I got into it at the end.
Online discussion has sort of increased around this music lately because Hans Zimmer is now doing the music for the third season of Euphoria, and there's a wedding scene, and everybody was like, "Oh, this doesn't fit," and then people said, "Oh, no, it does fit because it's from True Romance," but the use of it in this scene is weird because it's not showing the quote-unquote love between the
bride and groom.
The bride and groom. It's this other character. But so, yeah, I was also kind of aware of listening to the music while watching
I would say
too.
that after watching it, it was stuck in my head for a good, like, 24 hours after watching it. Because it comes on so much in this, like, 2.5-hour movie.
Mine was just trying to focus on when I started hearing it, and I was like, okay, this seems oddly placed. And then it was like, now I'm going to try and figure out, okay, when's it happening? Why is it happening? And then after a while, I sort of got the idea that it's just sort of this, contrasting to what's actually going on. It's insane. Yeah.
The other fun music point in this was in the scene with the phone booth where they're calling Dick Ritchie on their way to LA. And they played the Big Boppers, Chantilly Lace. They've just bought her a bunch of clothes. And
speaking of clothes, we need to talk about your fashion moment of the week. Because the outfits in this, they're all pretty hideous. I know it's the 90s.
She has got a style, and she sticks to it. She likes an animal print mixed with, like, a polka dot. And they don't quite match. I mean,
the first one is, like, an animal print jacket with, like, a bright red dress and then bright blue boots. And she then gets married. Like, that's the date outfit. They then get married in it. They then go to the tattoo parlor in it. It's just like, oh, the clothes.
At one point, she's got, like, the Holstein cow print skirt with, like, a blue bra. And, like, she very much likes, in the second part of the film, it's a lot of these, like, off-the-shoulder tops that you can very much see the bra underneath. And then at some point that's mixed with like a cheetah print hot pant, pink hot pant. Yeah.
So, well, just what we should say is that 90s fashion should definitely make a comeback.
So that takes us to our ending climax scene, in which we're all at this hotel for this big drug deal with a movie producer who apparently is like slightly based off of Joel Silver, who Tony Scott had an interaction with and didn't like. And so he made this character be very much like him. And we get this big standoff. There's lots of... which starts off with this, like, tense discussion between Christian Slater and the director over coffee for whatever reason. Like, instead of having, like, a drink, they have some coffee. They get them to say something.
First.
Yeah, the police show up. And actually, the one who kicks it off is the bodyguard. The bodyguard won't give up. He's like, no, I don't like
yeah, he won't back down. Yeah.
Everybody's at gunpoint, and then the gangsters come in, and guns pointed everywhere, and I think it's Elliot, being the rat, going, like, hey, can I leave? That's
the bit. I was so angry. I was like, no, you could have got out of it.
That whole sequence, I was just worried for Dick's character, because he just got that potential job role in that role.
TJ Hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, if he gets shot, I'm going to be so annoyed. And luckily,
same.
He just runs out of there. He's like, I've got a show to catch. I can't wait here anymore. I've done my bit. I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, there was no need for him to be there. Yeah, him and Alabama didn't need to be there, really.
If anything, I could see him maybe coming along because he thought he was meeting the director and it would get him further along in his acting career. Yeah. So, what did everybody think about this iconic final scene, this big shootout?
It was entertaining. I wouldn't have minded if Clarence had died and then Alabama had gone off and she could have still been pregnant and had a kid. I would have almost preferred that as my ending from that shootout.
That was the original ending.
Oh, well, that's the ending I would have enjoyed.
So that was the original ending. Quentin Tarantino fought for it to be kept in, but was convinced when Tony Scott told him that he liked the characters so much he didn't want them to die. Like, he believed in their love story so much that he wanted them to have, like, a happy ending. Yeah, I agree. As I was watching it, and I think from what you've said, you had a similar take on it. It felt a lot like everybody dying is because of these two dum-dums. And, like, all of this could have been prevented if they had made a bunch of rash decisions.
I feel like Alabama's choices were from the heart, whereas I feel like Clarence's choices were from greed. So I'm like, I feel like him dying would have been the yin and yang of that. Like, he should have died, she should have gone on.
I don't agree with that as much. I don't know as though I believe as much as Dave did in the love story, but I think I believe that this gave him sort of a rationale to live his movie fantasies. And so I think he sort of got into this role and became this anti-hero almost in his own mind. Like, maybe he is just trying to be like Sonny Chiba at the beginning, like the Hong Kong action star that he kind of dreams of.
Yeah.
Dave, what did you think of the scene?
I thought it was really good. That's the bit when I was like, this is a good film. Like, after like all the other stuff, I thought it was a good build-up. Yeah, everyone sort of, it all kind of turned into this mess of just who's shooting who. And then I did think the guy who looks like Jonah Hill was going to get out of there. But then he gets shot by Alabama, and then it's just like a mess. And I was like, but then my thoughts were like, well, how are they going to get out of this situation? It's like, oh, there's a guy downstairs causing a commotion, so they can sneak out and just get in a car and drive away, and then they're done.
Yeah.
I almost thought it was going to turn out like the film Descent, where they get up and go, and then get in a car and drive away, and then it will cut back to the actually still in there,
and they're still in
both
the
died or
room.
something.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I liked it. It was a good standoff. It was like, what's going to happen, and then who's going to shoot first? Then obviously, yeah, that guy's like, can I just go? And then the producer's like, oh, you're a son to me. What the hell are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And then they just go, you know what, bang, 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 bang. And everyone's like, because he throws like water over him, which then's like, okay, that's the get-go. We can all shoot each other. So, and then it's just like...
Was it water? I thought it was some sort of acid.
Oh, right, I don't know. Yeah,
he
some
like
sort of,
reacted to it.
Was it like hot coffee?
Oh,
yeah.
I bet it was hot coffee. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then like I was like, oh, maybe he'll be fine. And
feathers everywhere too.
Yeah, all the pillows. And then he gets shot, and then he's like, "Oh no, he's gone now." So I was like, as long as they don't kill Dick, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Soon I saw him running
Dick
away.
just
I was like,
runs out.
perfect. Yeah, I was like, perfect. But yeah, it was a good ending.
Live to see another day. So that takes us to what we do at the end of all of these podcasts and give our ratings. So first, we're going to go around. There's so many characters in this film. Did everybody have a favorite and least favorite character?
Yes. My favourite character was Elliot up until his stupid remark at the scene, as I've said. And then it became Dick, who was my second favourite character, because Dick did no wrong in this movie. He was just strung along. A few times he's like, I don't really want to be involved in it. Like, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong friends. My worst character, as I'm sure you're all going to guess, is Clarence, who makes just the worst decisions that affect everybody else in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Dave?
Mine was a hard one. It was hard to pick between, was it James, what's he called, Gandolfini?
Gandolfini. Think of the movie you like and the wizard,
so,
and then put an Eni at the end.
So it was between James Gandolfini and Dick as well. I'm going to go with James just because he was so brutal. And I didn't know he was going to go that intense. He was like a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I'll go with him. And least, I don't know, I haven't really got a least. Everyone did a great performance. There wasn't any characters I was like...
Oh, performances were great, but character-wise...
Character-wise, no, I think they're all...
For me, for favorite, I named Clarence's dad. I thought I just liked Dennis Hopper. I liked sort of his portrayal of a dad. And least favorite, I think I'm going to agree with you. I thought Clarence was probably, if I had to name, my least favorite. On to favorite scenes. How about you first, Dave?
The shootout, probably. I'd say just because it was really like the climax of the whole thing. Who's going to survive? Who's going to get out? Yeah, that was pretty good.
Nat?
Mine was the Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper scene, just because of the tension building. You know it's not going to end happily. Like, you know Dennis Hopper is a goner. But it's just the interaction that they have, like the back and forth in between that and the tension building.
I picked the first date. I thought I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of their quote-unquote true romance throughout. I think it kind of gets lost in the crime thriller aspect of it, but I really liked how these like two oddballs kind of, I mean, granted she is being paid to hang out with him, but she genuinely becomes interested in him by the end of that date, and I thought that was kind of sweet.
I feel like it's when he's his love for comic books. Like, you can see in her face almost like she falls in love with him at that point.
Yeah, so that gets us to our final ratings. We're going to rate out of limes and lemons. Nat and Dave are the limes. I am the lemon. Who'd like to rate first?
Go on. I'm going to give it a 5. It's a really good film.
Wow.
I'd happily watch it again. Or tell people about it to watch it. Like we're doing now. Like we'll do.
I'm going to give it a 3.75. I'm going to be very specific. I enjoyed it. Clarence, I kept getting very frustrated with him. I don't like the title of True Romance, but the film was very good, and it was definitely one that kept me entertained, and it made like the 2 hours go quite quickly.
And I think I'm going to give it a 4. Like I said, I think the only thing that would have like really popped this over the edge for me is having like continuously seeing their love growing, whereas I think it kind of gets lost for all of the characters and fun. But I liked all the characters and fun, so I was happy to see all of that as well. But I think for it to be a love conquers all story for me, I needed just a tad bit more of the love. So with that, thank you all for listening, and it's a bye for me.
See you next Wednesday.
Bye.